if I believe they're looking up to me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me.
All right, what's up, guys? It's me, your boy, Jay Dizzle for Shizzle, back in the Hizzle. Hope you guys are doing well. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. All right, guys, man, I'm not going to try to hold y'all, but the inspiration for this video comes from a video that I watched back in 2021 from the His and Her Money Show. I still watch it to this day. I also have the podcast version saved. I listen to it frequently. Called Preparing Your Family for 2021 and Beyond. And they had a special guest on there named Chelsea Brennan, and she has this thing called the Family Emergency Binder, guys. Okay? It's time to start having some difficult conversations with our families, guys. And the inspiration for this video comes from that video. Just because, you know, I dealt with a lot last year. I dealt with so much the last couple years. And having something like this in place for your family is very, very valuable, guys. Okay, so what this is just, it just basically tells people in the unfortunate, in case something unfortunate happens to you, they know where to look for special documents and things like that. They know how to access your email, your bank accounts, who your employer is, who your direct manager's name is. Do you have life insurance? Things like that. All of these things that are made more difficult when you don't have something like this in place. When unfortunate things happen. Guys, I lost one of my best friends in 2012. He was on his way to work and he was killed in a snowstorm by a semi. Okay. Semi driver ran into him. I guess he didn't see him on the road. It was damn near a total whiteout. And, you know, and again, they still want us to be at work, right? They still want us to be at school, things like that. You know, if you're going to college, like my college had like a strict, you know, you only get 3 consecutive times to miss before they kick you out of the class, you know, and things like that. So it didn't matter if it was a snowstorm or not, you had to be in class. It was weird. But anyway, you know, I don't know if he had anything like this in place. I don't know if he had life insurance and things, but guys, in the midst of grief, you don't want your family to deal with more grief by having to make 15 hours of phone calls trying to get information they should already have. Okay, and that's what this family emergency binder is, guys. And it's funny because when this episode came out, I was already trying to put some things in place for my mom and my brother because they didn't know like who my employer was and my direct manager and things like that. They didn't have the phone number, any of that stuff. And I was also trying to get something set up for my employer because I was cleaning a multitude of buildings at the time. And so I wanted to, you know, I was trying to make something that said, hey, when I go to this building, the security code is this, and this. When I go to this building, there's no security code, but they do have a security door that you punch in a number to get into the door, things like that. The keys that I use for each building are here, and here. Like I have them in a key case or whatever, you know, and it's located here so that, you know, when I'm on vacation, they can just go clean the buildings and, you know, it's a smooth transition, like nothing's, you know, there's no interruptions in the cleaning service, things like that. When I started doing my own business, I had the same thing in place. I was like, Mom, these are the buildings that I clean. These are the direct managers. This is the regional manager that I actually report to, like, you know, hey, the building's clean, blah, 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 you know, so that if something unfortunate were to happen to me, you know who to contact. Guys, there's all kinds of information in here. It's not just, you know, it's not just like financial information. There's things on here for your kids. If you have kids, guys, it talks about, you know, family traditions. Do you have certain family traditions, family recipes that, you know, you want passed down from generation to generation? You can write those in here, things like that. It's all fill in the blanks, guys. There's no, you know, it's not complicated. Okay. So I have a printed out version. You can also download it and have it digitally saved on a thumb drive, and they talk about that in the episode. You know, you can have a password to put on the thumb drive so people just can't access it and things like that. I have a fireproof safe that I store this in, and I actually need to update it because I had some banking information hacked, and I had to cancel the card. And then when they sent the new card, so you know, and the new information, I have to update that. So guys, have something like this in place. Like when my dad passed away last year, it's like my mom had things in place to where, you know, he's a veteran, you know, he's an Air Force veteran. So she was able to get, you know, a military, you know, he's buried in the military cemetery here in Ohio. And, you know, we had a military send off for him, you know, and, you know, I have the same thing. Like I have my DD-214, you know, I'm a veteran. I have my DD-214 in there in my fireproof safe. I have my, my birth certificate, my social security card. I have my daughter's birth certificate, her social security card, her banking information. My divorce decree is in there, you know, just in case something pops up with my ex-wife or something, and, you know, they need to, you know, some information. If something unfortunate happens to me, I don't want my family to be in a more grieving, you know, state of mind, you know, than they're already in, you know, from whatever happened to me. You know, it doesn't always have to be death, but guys, what if something happens and I'm in a coma for 6 months? They need to know where my bills are being paid from, what credit card or banking account, things like that. You know, is my car going to default? Like, is it paid off? All of that information's in here for your children. You know, your children, you know, do they have a best friend? You know, what is their parents' name and where are they located at? Do they have a phone? Does your kid's best friend have a phone number? If something unfortunate was to happen to, you know, to your kid, can they contact them? Things like that, guys. You know, their doctor's information. You know, I have my health insurance information in here, my dental insurance information, you know, my doctor's name and things like that. Just make it easier for your family, guys. I think I just talked about this, but my other best friend passed away 2 weeks after my dad did. I don't know if he had something like this. I don't know if he had life insurance. Perfect example. My cousin passed away in 2023. His mom was doing the exact thing I'm talking about. She was making hours and hours of phone calls trying to get his last paycheck. She didn't know who his direct manager's name was, all of that good stuff. Guys, if you just had this in case of emergency, you know, it just make it easier on your family. Guys, my brother, he lives in California. If something unfortunate happens to him, his apartment manager is not just going to let us in because I'm his brother. Okay, I have to have some sort of power of attorney, or I have to have a spare key that he gives me, you know, and say, hey, you know, if something unfortunate happens, you can enter my apartment, this, that, and the third. Something in writing, you know, notarized and stuff like that. Have that in place, guys. He has 2 storage units. Again, they're not just going to let me in because I'm his brother. Okay, I have to have some sort of power of attorney, or I have to have his extra key or his passcode or because I think he uses a clicker to get inside the gate, things like that. Like, I have to know all of this information. Okay, and it's going to be made easier. You know, he's a veteran. Does he have his, you know, veteran documents, you know, in a secure location? You know, all of that good stuff, guys. So I implore you, I encourage you to go watch that video. I'm also going to link another video. I think I talked about it in the beginning. It's called Living Old. And it talks about, you know, as we get older, you know, as our minds kind of start to go and things like that as well. You know, you want to have things like this in place now while you're in the right state of mind and things like that. Like my dad, like, again, my mom was able to have things in place because she had to start taking over his care and things like that. She had to get his DD-214 from the Air Force. She had to get certain document, you know, his birth certificate, things like that, you know, in order to get things done. Okay, because again, in the unfortunate time of your death or something bad happening to you, you know, you don't want people more stressed out than they already are. Again, like my mom had a major back surgery in 2022. She just had a knee surgery. I was paying her bills. Like, Mom, you just would have had it written down. It would have made it a lot easier for me to do these things because I would know the password to get onto this website. I would know it comes out of this credit card or this bank account, this, and the third. guys, give it to somebody that you absolutely trust with your life, okay? You're not just gonna give this to anybody, but you know, buy a fireproof safe. I would say that as well too. Buy a fireproof safe, have this in there, lock it up, have it secure, have the thumb drive in there, and update it frequently, guys. It's not just something that you just fill out once and then, you know, because our information always updates, okay? So that's all I got for you guys, man. I want to give you some value on this channel, not just about my fitness journey, which that is the main topic, but this was really on my mind, especially I just watched, you know, my girl Taylor Chamberlain Dilk now. She just came back on YouTube and she was talking about all the things that were happening in her life. She just lost her father. You know, he was a big part of her life, of course, and a big part of her channel as well. He was on several of her videos. And I loved watching her. I actually got to meet her and her sister. I was in love with her sister. And but yeah, she talked about all the unfortunate things that were going on with that. My stepbrother right now is going through chemotherapy for cancer. You know, we need things in place, guys. Okay. And I know this sounds like a life insurance commercial right now, but guys, and it's an uncomfortable conversation that you got to have. You got to have these uncomfortable conversations with your family, because it's better to have a small dust up now than a big blow up later, when, you know, and now family members are fighting. Family is real petty when somebody passes away, okay, guys? So, you know, you don't want those things, guys. Have stuff in place. Have, you know, a will and an estate plan. None of this stuff in here is legally binding, but it's just going to give people a place where to look if things were to happen to you, okay? So that's all I got for you guys, man. I encourage you to go watch that video or listen to the podcast. Listen to it while you're doing cardio. Okay, listen to it on a bus ride or a car drive, you know, a long car ride. Like when I went to Cincinnati, you know, I was listening to the podcast the entire time. Like, guys, this is important information, okay? You know, sit down, talk with your family about it and things like that, all right? I love you. There's nothing you can do about that. And I see you on the next one. Your boy Jay Dizzle. I'm out. Peace.